What's up, everybody? It's Passing on Smirgle. We got another deck profile on the channel for you. This is something that I kind of threw together, something that I've been testing. This is a very rough draft of the deck, so I am looking for some feedback in the comment section. Let me know what you think. This deck is missing things like Ninja Boy and Ranger. Haven't quite figured out where they're going to go once I can get my hands on the hard copies of the cards. But this is going to be like all the other deck profiles I'm doing, a post-rotation deck. So you're not going to see things like AZ06, starting the Megaphone, whatnot in here. It's going to be very evident what cards are going to be missing. You'll see as we go through the deck. But this is Mega Alakazam EX for the Primal Clash on format. I think Megas are going to make a huge comeback next format. So I'm trying to prep for that, and I thought, well, let's go with a kind of a cool Mega, one of my favorite Megas actually. We're going to go with Mega Alakazam. So we're going to start things off. We have a three line of Alakazam, Mega Alakazam. What's cool about this is Alakazam EX, that's where the ability lies, so that's kind of neat where you can stack the damage counters around and things like that. Regular Alakazam, I'm just going to move this here. Regular Alakazam actually has a really good attack. Suppression puts 3 damage counters on each of your opponent's Pokemon that has any energy attached to it. So it's a nice way to do some chip damage to stuff on the bench, load up some damage counters, and then move them around as you need. Megazam here, obviously this deck without Rangers, pretty weak to Giratina. That's just going to be running rampant in the format probably, but Zen Force does 10 damage plus 30 more for every damage counter on the targeted Pokemon, which is great because this deck is going to excel at putting damage counters on. Not only do you have Kinesis here, Alakazam EX's ability, so when you play a Mega Alakazam from your hand to evolve this Pokemon, before it evolves, you put 2 damage counters on your opponent's active Pokemon and 3 damage counters on one of their bench, which can be really great for racking up some of those early damage or taking some sneaky knockouts, things like that. Obviously, with Garbodor around, this deck is really weak to Garbodor, so you're going to want to deal with that accordingly. It's a very ability-based deck. We're playing 2 Shaman for the setup draw, 1 Hoopa because we are playing a Mega. It's a Psychic deck. You could attack with Hyperspace Fury if needed. Hopefully you don't need to, but we do play Hoopa so we can go get our parts. For non-EX Pokemon, this is a pretty large Pokemon line. We're going to play a 3-3 line of Zubat into Golbat. Especially for the sneaky bite, you put 2 damage counters on something, any one of your opponent's Pokemon. You also have Supercross, which can be nice, which is 10 damage to everything. It's a good way to spread damage counters. And finally, we're playing 2 of the Roaring Skies Absol with Cursed Eyes. When you play this Pokemon from your hand to your bench, you may move 3 damage counters from one of your opponent's Pokemon to another one of his or her Pokemon. We're not going to be able to attack with it, but it does allow us to put damage counters around, which can be nice. For our supporters, relatively thin supporter line, but we're playing 3 Sycamore, 2 Lysander, 1 Hex Maniac, 1 Skyla, and 2 N. Pretty standard thin supporter line for a deck like this. It's more revolving around the Pokemon and the items, with all forms of item lock other than Vileplume being out of the format. You can kind of stack your deck with a bunch of items and help your consistency. We're playing 1 Escape Rope, 1 Professor's Letter, 2 copies of Mega Turbo, just in case, 1 Super Rod, 4 Ultra Balls, 4 Versus Seeker, 2 copies of Floatstone for our Absols, or Hoopa should they get stuck in the active, 3 copies of Trainer's Mail, 3 copies of the Alakazam Spirit Link, and 3 copies of De-Evolution Spray, which was thankfully reprinted in Fates Collide. This is really, really nice. I think it's Fates Collide. Really, really nice for de-evolving your... No, not Fates Collide. I don't know what set this was from. But you can de-evolve your Mega Alakazam into your Alakazam and then put the Mega down on a different one, which can be great. Or you can do the same thing with your Bat line, which can be fantastic. For a Stadium, we're just playing 2 copies of Parallel City to knock things off our own bench should we need to, or cut our opponent's bench size down if they're playing Mega Ray. And they're playing 8 copies of Psychic Energy to round things out for the deck. Like I said, this is a very rough draft of a deck. We'll probably see some updates to this come up as I keep testing and rebuilding it. I'm going to start updating some of the decks that I've been doing for rotation, for post-rotation, adding more to it as I get access to more cards, especially from Steam Siege. Right now, not having very much Steam Siege-wise. Might be a little bit before we start seeing Steam Siege cards filter their way into my videos. Until I start my new job and get a better paycheck so I can buy more cards, so I can make more videos, so I can get more money, so I can buy more cards, and the cycle of life continues, and you know how it goes. So, that's it for this deck profile. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. I really appreciate your feedback. Click that like button if you like this deck profile. If you didn't like it at all, and you thought this deck profile was offensive to you or it triggered you in some way, click that dislike button. Let me know why. Subscribe to stay up to date on the content on this channel. Hopefully we'll be adding some new things in the future, and you don't want to miss out on that. Now, do you? Thank you guys so much for your support. It really means a lot to me, but I got to get the heck out of here. And with all that being said, this is Pallet Town Smeargle, signing out.